Welcome back to Greenwich Valley for episode 12 with me, MrSealyp. We are back up at the store. At the end of the last episode we finished off helping a farmer by clearing the field, doing the contract. We got some sunflower out of it, which has gone over to the pig farm. We're back up at the store to collect the large trial hours JCB. We need to turn our attention to hay. The first cut we did, we baled and wrapped. We only had a front mower and a baler. We baled, wrapped, transported all the bales to the bunker silos and sold it. We then took our straw bales in another episode and we took them down to be pelletised and palletised, which we then sold as straw pellets. Well, now we're turning our attention to hay. We're going to do a slightly different method this time. I'm also going to lease different mowers. Well, I say different mowers, different setup of mowers. I'm still undecided at the moment. We're going to go for... I was just going to go for standard for the Pottinger setup actually. Novacat 301 ED and X8 ED. I don't need to windrow these as I go because I need to TED to make hay. So I'm going to do it as most people do. Not everybody, but most people. Now I could go with the class setup, which is a little bit more expensive, but we'll run it out to 10 metres, which will be much quicker. That's 8.4. I mean, it's not going to be a huge amount of difference. So I'm thinking, last time we just hired the Disco 3600 FC. This time we're going to go for the triple mower setup. So I'll run around at 10 metres rather than just going along at 3.6, which is what we did last time. I did think about running the fella setup, but together that will give me 6.6. Which I could do, I guess. You know what, I might run that. Haven't used that before. Depends whether I want to go quickly or just try out something new. We have always got the Novacat A10 CF, which is also 10 metre. This setup, this modded setup of Novacat 301 Varia and the Novacat X8, that gives you the ability to windrow. So you can actually mow out to 10 metres, but then you can actually windrow it as you go, so it comes out the back in one neat windrow, which is brilliant. But I don't, like I say, I don't need to do that. I'm torn now. You know what, I quite like the fella stuff. Yeah, let's do the fella stuff. Standard or lights mounted? We'll go lights mounted just in case. It's 9 something in the morning. I honestly can't see us running into darkness, but you never know, do you? And then we'll go with the Ramos. Again, we'll go lights mounted. Yeah, why not? We're also going to be leasing the... Actually, I might as well do it while I'm up here. The newly available Tedder, which has recently come on the market, which is the Krone KWT 11.22, 11.2 metre. It only requires 55 horsepower to pull, which means we can get one of the smaller tractors on that. That won't have a problem at all. That's going to give us our hay. Then we're going to have to come around windrow, and then we're going to bale. Like I said in the previous episode, we're not going to be doing all the fields. I'm really not too sure how many bales to do on this at the moment. I'm a little bit torn, if I'm honest. I was thinking of running a triple mower setup with the Pottingers, so I could have 3 mowers on the front, the butterfly and the single, and then run the Tedder on the back and go through round in one pass. But you know what? It's not about, like I say, it's not necessarily about speed. I've got all day. I just want to get the job done. I want to enjoy doing it. Use something a little bit different. Why not? These came out as part of a fella pack. I looked at these, reviewed these recently. I just like the look of them. It's a slightly different style. It will mow like all the other mowers do. It will, they will, but... So what we're going to do is come into the sheep farm from the... So the back side, it depends which way you come from the back side. The far side, whichever way. Through past the barn sell point, which is where we took some of the bales last time. Because that's going to be far quicker going this way. Especially in the JCB, which is very nice. We have now been also offered the opportunity at some point of doing whole crop, which we haven't really looked at. I haven't done that in a long time. One of the farmers locally has got a crop, I think of wheat, it might be barley, that is excess to his requirements. It's getting to a point where he can't get it all done and has offered us the opportunity to have it. So I think the option is, because it's gone a little bit beyond where it needs to be, we're going to whole crop it, which results in turning it into chaff and filling a bunker silo. So whereas before I did silage bales, we're going to do loose silage and fill up a bunker silo and compact it. So we will be doing some whole cropping at some point. I'm just not too sure where. I really don't know which field yet, but we'll find out. That's all being negotiated at the moment. I'm just passing on this little bit of information. So we need to go in through here, and this is going to be another all hands on deck like it was before. We're going to get the mower going. I'll get some nice borders around the fields, and we can get one of the guys on it, either Stuart or Debbie or Rob, whoever's available, can carry on with mowing. Then we'll go and grab the tedder. We can get on with tedding. Then potentially I can get someone else doing the tedding, and I can go and grab the windrower, and then, like I say, it's just the process will roll forward. Once we're in road, we'll bale, and then it'll be a case of collecting all those bales up, and we'll get those down to mesh pellets, and we're going to have a look at some options down there with hay pellets. Another channel worth checking out. I know this was recommended to me when I mentioned about Cold the Corn Star and a few of the different channels I watched. I think it was Big Daddy that mentioned this one to me as well. A couple of people did in the comments. Was Tom Pemberton's Farm Life. Loving it. I'm watching a few episodes here and there and working my way through. And again, it's another one of those interesting ones in so much as it gives you an insight how I say normal farm, that's the wrong way of putting it, there's no such thing as a normal farm, but it's not that massive machinery going around doing everything as quick as possible. I think that's why I kind of went for this setup as well. I watched an episode a little while ago where they were doing their first cut of the year. We're on our second cut, but they were doing their first cut of the year, and he only had a rear side mower, and he went around this field just up and down cutting the grass. They then came and collected it. That all went into a bunker silo, and it was, it's very relaxing. Let's unfold this. See what we'll do is we'll get over here onto the path first, and we'll start over here. Switch to the front mower, unfold that. Might miss a little bit here and there, but it's not the end of the world. Turn it and drop it down, turn it on and drop it down, and away we go. Get nice and close to the edge, get as much as we can. And like I said before, we've already sold field 27, so we won't have the bales from that, so we won't do 166 regardless now, because we won't have bales on that field, which is absolutely fine. And I don't think I'm going to bale the field that's over by the pig farm, so we're only going to do the 3 here. This one was, what was this, 35, 36 and 45 we're going to be doing. So whatever bales we get off these 3 fields is what we're going to be going with. I'm not too worried if I miss the edge or not. The corner, that is. Like I say, we're going to have plenty of grass, we'll have plenty of hay. Been reading up on haylage as well. Hay and haylage, it's one of those weird things, you kind of hear the term, and generally speaking, hay is produced by doing what we're doing, cutting the grass, letting it dry, and then tedding it, letting it dry, and when it reaches a certain percentage dry, I think it needs to be like 75+% dry, so less than 25% moisture in it. And then it gets baled or collected as hay. Haylage is collected. The hay is made the same way, but because obviously in the UK we tend to get wet weather conditions, we don't always get perfect drying conditions. Whoops. For making hay. Whereas in game we wrap grass to make our silage bales, what you do with haylage is you can cut it, turn it to hay, but what they then do is they wrap it, so they make silage bales in essence, but they are hay silage bales, and it's a lot wetter, so it doesn't reach 25%. I think it's can be done anywhere between 50% moisture and was 50 and 75% dry, so the other way around then 50 to 25% I guess. So anywhere between those, so it can be baled up wet. The reason behind that being, even if it's baled wet or fairly wet, as long as you take the oxygen out, which wrapping does, it doesn't then go mouldy, which means you still can use your hay without waiting for it to go fully dry, which is always a risk if it then pours the rain and then you've got a whole load you can't use. Which I didn't know. I thought I'd look it up, I wasn't too sure. So yeah, using the fella, it's just something a bit different. Like I say, it's not doing any different a job. It's still mowing. It's doing what all the other mowers do. I could have used the class setup and been going along at a 10 metre width. Absolutely. Yes, I could lease the Krone Big M and be also doing 10 metres and windrowing out the back. I could add a tedder onto the back of that and be mowing and tedding. That's expensive to lease. It's expensive per hour. In the situation we're in, probably not the most advisable thing to do. So what I'm going to do now is hopefully try and get a straight line across now, and then I'll fill in the gap, and then we can hopefully get some of the workers over, get cracking. We'll go and grab one of the other tractors, go and get the tedder, and we'll get tedding. Now this is obviously different if you're doing seasons. If you are running seasons, that'll be a whole different ball game. All you would be doing by cutting the grass is now at this point you would either have wet grass or dry grass depending on the moisture in it. If you were cutting it and you're getting dry grass, fantastic, you just leave it then and it will make hay. If you're cutting it and you're getting wet grass, then you would use the tedder just to give yourself dry grass. So I think I mentioned this literally yesterday when I did the mod review for the 2nd of June. I was talking about this very thing. So if you're new to Farming Simulator, if you're not sure about the processes, I've had a lot of people, and thank you to all the new subscribers, thank you to all the new commenters, all the people for asking for advice and help. And this was the point I make when people leave derogatory comments saying everybody knows this. No, they don't. They really don't. There are a lot of new people playing the game that don't know a lot of this stuff. They don't know the terminology. They may never have played anything farming related or know anything about farming at all. So a lot of this stuff may be completely new. So if you are new to it, welcome to the fray. Welcome to the insanity. You will probably find it incredibly addictive and lose hours and hours of your life to this. There's nothing wrong with that. What is going on? That's what happens when you try and put cruise control on and in inverted commas GPS, which we don't have on console, but you know what I mean? When you're technically in the cab but not technically in the cab. Just try and get some straight lines. Some straight lines for workers. Trees don't help though. So we've got a nice strip either end. Plenty of room for a worker to turn round. Should be good to go. And let's see in a minute. I'm going to go and grab the as you can see, this is having no problems at all with these two mowers. When we did our first cut we had a single mower and our smaller JCB was struggling to do the mowing and baling, so I put a smaller tractor on the mower. That struggled as well. So what we're going to do now, let's get a worker going, and I'm going to go over and grab the tedder. So I've gone to collect the Krone KWT 1122. What we're going to do is go exactly the same route we did with the other one. I've got the little Massey as well. Now weirdly, this is the little Massey of the two Masseys that we've got on the 3 farms. It's only 2-wheel drive, it's the 3090, but it's actually got more horsepower than the 390T. It's the 390T we've got, haven't we? This has got 115 and that's only got 95, so whilst it is the smaller tractor, it does actually have more horsepower, but it's irrelevant really because this only requires 55, so we'll be fine. One of the reasons I went for this, A, it's new, thought we'd give it a go, but B, it's got that nifty little hydraulic movement on it which allows you to bring tedded hay away from field edges and fences and stuff, because what often happens is if you run your tedder flat out behind you, because what it does, it takes the grass, it basically flings it up in the air, it flings it all over the place, so it tends to go out left and right. If it goes left and you're right against the edge of a field, or right and you're against the edge of a field or a fence, it can either go into the hedge, through the fence, and then you can't actually get to it. So by using the function this has, you can tilt the whole rig to one side and it actually flicks it into the field away from the boundary, which is, it's a nice feature, I like that. Been watching some videos online since it got released. I thought I'd have a look at it in action, and it's very cool. Also it has all the running gear is up out of the way, the whole thing tilts at an angle almost like 45 degrees, almost actually at the angle that's at now. So when it flicks all the stuff up, it's flicking it up and away, which gives good spread and good coverage without getting in the way of the running gear, without getting your grass flicked up into the running gear of the actual bit of machinery itself. All very smart. There may be a few edges here and there we're going to have to tidy up, but I think Debbie's running the mower at the moment. I think it's Debbie. So there might be some end bits, yeah, we're going to have to do a little bit here and there. But that's alright, we're going to go around clockwise. So I need to tilt this. Let's get this right. Left and right. I think I need to tilt it right, if I'm not mistaken. What we'll do is I'm going to open the help window. We're on middle, left, middle, right. So as we go forward, it should tilt that way, which means it will flick the grass in that direction rather than out sideways. I think that's what's supposed to happen. But what I need to do is actually line up a bit better because I've missed a load already. Doesn't help that I'm now putting it all over the place. Right, so as you can see, as we're going along, rather than it accidentally flicking it in towards the fence, it is actually flicking it away. If we look around behind us, away from the fence, which makes it a lot easier then for windrowing. It means your windrower doesn't get up close to the fence. I mean, not just in game, but in real life, it avoids you hitting guards and windrowers and things on fence posts and trees, and you know, it just reduces damage. It's, you know, it's a clever idea. Obviously once we've done round the edge we can straighten it out, we can just go as normal, but I just think it's a nice feature. That's why we've gone for it. In reference to what I was talking about earlier on about getting various different machinery for mowing and stuff, we are of course going to be spending money. We are going to be leasing equipment, we will be spending money. It's a case of reducing big spends, you know, not spending out too much money, what we need to, as opposed to just frivolous spending, I think, That's what we're aiming for. This is making a really good job of this. Now obviously if I'd have come the other way around the field, anti-clockwise, I just would have set that on left rather than right. And it would have done it just as well the other way around. Have they completed their task though? Let's just have a quick check. Oh, gone already, look. Whizzed off. Nope, got a little bit needs doing. So, let's get on that. Let's get on that, drop that down. Drop that down. Go quickly over this. Just the bits that were missed. I don't think it missed on the other end, did it? I didn't notice any as we went along. So what we're going to do now, save that as well. The back one we need to fold so we can get through the fence. Actually, you know what we'll do? We'll do this one next. And hopefully if I can get workers going on this, then we can whiz off and get a windrower. And we can get it all done at the same time. So now I've done a full loop round, what I should do is that. We should straighten up now. I can carry on as I normally would in a straight line. There we go. The mowing is all complete. The fella mowers went back. I've now picked up the fella windrower, but not the one that came in the same pack. This is one that's been out a little while. This is the fella Duras 14055, I think it is. We're going to be using this. I think it's 14, I want to say 14 metres wide, but I'm not 100% certain. Field 45, they are just finishing off the tedding now. And then we'll get over and we'll start windrowing. I'm hoping before the end of the episode to get the baling done as well, so we'll know how many hay bales we've got on hand. That's the plan. It was all the grass work to get the mowing, the tedding, windrowing and baling done by the end of this one. That's what I'm hoping for. Which I might just go straight in and start on there. Seeing we're on the same field, why not? I don't think I showed this field being windrowed in the last time we did it, when I did the grass bales and we wrapped them. I think I did field 27. I showed a bit of 35 and 36. So let's get in there. Now there is the Krone Windrow. Could have used that. That's massive. The Klingon Bird of Prey windrower I quite like, but this thing is just as nice. This has got more of a praying mantis, lizardy type feel to it. By the way, the discs come out with the arms. I don't know, it's more like a, I don't know what it is. It's like something's ready to pounce with its arms out on, you know. I don't know why I see these things in all the equipment. It's a weird thing. It's probably a condition of some description. So let's get that on. We're at 4.6 of our trial hours on the JCB. We're making the most of having it. Hay yield seems to be good, and you can see what I mean about using the tedder to get the stuff away from the side of the hedges. I haven't got to worry. I'm not anywhere near the hedges, not anywhere near the fences. I'm not trying to drag bits out from the sides. Oh, and that's the clip you saw a little while ago. I found that bale. If you've been watching right from the start, and I did when I did the silage bales, and I was missing a bale and I couldn't work out where it had gone. It's down here, in the corner of the field, underneath the tree. Look, in the shadow, just there. That's where it is. So I've got one grass bale sitting there. I have to do something with that at some point. Maybe just give it to the sheep or something. I don't know. But that's where it ended up. I'm glad I didn't lose it completely, and I'm glad I wasn't losing my mind. I knew my maths added up, and I knew I was missing one somewhere. I just didn't know where it had gone. I was watching Tom Pemberton's farming life earlier today, and what I thought was fantastic. They were doing this. They were doing stuff for this. Well, they were doing silaging actually, but they were preparing all their windrows ready for the forage harvesters to come along, cross-cut it and chaff it, and they were putting everything into their bunker silos or silage clamp, however you want to refer to it. And he was really excited. He said it's one of the times of the year he really enjoys, because they get to go out and do all the cutting and all the rest of it, but they get to use a lot of big machinery when they're doing the windrowing, when they're using the forage harvester and stuff like that. And it's one of those things I often wonder when you see farmers, actually I should turn it off, probably dangerous jumping up but it's still running, when they're doing their day-to-day or their yearly work, do they still get excited? Do farmers still get excited about certain parts of the year? I know a few different of the farmers I've watched, there are certain parts of the year people love. On flank farms they love lambing season, and there's all different ones. When they with Tom Pemberton and on flank farms, when they let the cows out after the winter out into the fields, and you see these cows running and leaping, and the cows are excited to be out. So I suppose from a farmer's perspective that's a nice thing to see, you know. So yeah, it's just cool. I think it's really nice when you see people happy about what they're doing. That was brilliant. That thing is really, really nice. I know the guys at Creative Mesh were talking about this a little while ago, and there were some pictures that popped up on their Discord server, and I've been looking at it, and I must admit, I'll be honest, I'll hold my hands up and say I did think, well, It's just a windrower. I mean, a tedder. We've got tedders already, but with that function to do this, that's made all the difference for me. That's a no-brainer. With the low horsepower requirement, absolute. That's going to be, I think, one of those must-have tedders. Whenever I use a tedder, it's going to be that again, I think. I really like the functionality of that. So what I'll try and do now is swing around and keep that away from the edge. Unfortunately, the baler's not going to like that tight turn, so I might have to do something about that. I'll come back in. So, you've seen me... Oh, excuse me. Blimey. You've seen me windrow before, but I know I'm using a slightly different windrower. Or maybe you haven't seen me windrow before. Like I say, you might be new to all this, and this might be the first of my videos you're watching. This will just make baling so much easier. I think what I'm going to do is a gentle curve on this so I don't get any more tight turns. Taking a bit of that one as well. I'll do the same coming out this side. Just make my life a little bit easier later on. So I can try and avoid some of these tight turns if I can. Same at this end. I think what I'll do is sweep round a little bit wider into this one here. I know it does make some of the windrows a bit big, but I'm sure it'll be fine. So I can tidy this line up here as I go across, and then sweep round into this one. Like so. That'll do, nice. I often find when I do my windrowing to start off with, the first few runs round aren't always as tidy as they can be, and then I'll come round and clean up a little bit later on, get everything into the lines that I need it or want it for gathering up later on. But it doesn't matter, if you've got a tight turn with the baler, you can just back up and come round again, but that corner I'm definitely going to tidy up. So I think what I'll do now is the same thing. If I take a turn here, sweep round a little bit more, if I can arc round straight back onto this turn like that, then I can tidy that corner up a little bit nicer. Yeah, we'll be alright. Fantastic. So, as with the other two jobs I've been doing, I'm going to carry on. Get this all windrowed up, get field 35, 36 windrowed up, and then we'll get out with the baler, get cracking and just see how many we end up with. Any ideas, any guesses at this point what you think we might get? I'm thinking 110 maybe? Or maybe that's too many actually. I'm going to go with 110. I think I might be off a little bit on that, but it's possible we'll get 110. That's still a lot of bales we're going to have to pelletise. I may overdo it with that many, but we'll see. Okay, the other JCB is in the workshop. It's going to have a little bit of TLC. It's been bombing around a little bit. Oh, still got grass in this. That's annoying. First bailout's going to be grass by 50 litres as well. Oh well, never mind. So yeah, we're going to use the old JCB. My count, I'm still going for 110. I reckon we'll get 110 hay bales. If we get 109 now, because one of them's grass, that's not likely to happen. Oh, mind you though, our crop's ready to harvest. 12:15. It's a bit early. I wasn't expecting them to be ready till this evening. Well, I can't do anything with them yet anyway, but let's whiz out. And we'll get cracking. Now, as I mentioned in the I overshot there, but the previous episode, I don't know why I was thinking I was going straight on then. And a couple of people commented to say they were interested in seeing what the results will be when we do the pellets. Now, I have had comments left after the add-on straw harvest came out and I did the videos on it and stuff, saying that weirdly you get more pellets by bagging them. So you put in a certain amount into the pelletizer and you'll get more bags out than you should do for the amount of pellets going in, which is very odd. But I just want to test that theory for myself. I want to see what we end up getting out of it. I don't know how many bales I'm going to have to put in. I want to try and get like full pallets. So I don't want to put like 2 bales in and end up with a full pallet and half a pallet sitting there I can't do anything with. Although I can technically work out how much is on it, I suppose, by whatever the full pallet is, and then work out what a half pallet will be and that kind of thing. And then, like I say, we will then just pelletize 2 bales, maybe 3, whatever we decide to do, and see what we get in just pellets rather than palletizing, and then sell each lot and kind of go from there. I'll try and make it as fair and scientific as I possibly can, but who knows. Alright, beacon off. Back of the baler open. Got a couple of little bits here that I'm going to pick up first. Let's get turned on. Drop down. I say, unfortunately, first one out is going to be grass, but never mind. What I should have done, should have made life a little bit easier, which I think I'm going to do. Let's get some of these mounds are massive. We're going to have these bales absolutely steaming out the back of this. And I mustn't forget to get over here and fertilise. So again, if we do anything else with grass later on, we will get maximum yield out of it. Right, let's rock and roll. Judging by the size of the swaths, these should come out of here at quite a rate. So we'll see the first one coming out as darker. That's grass, and then after that. See, this even struggles just with the baler. Maybe I should have used the other JCB. Yeah, we'll be alright. I'll probably do the same thing again. I'll lease an auto stack rather than auto load bale trailer. I'll get an auto stack probably. Whether I'll use the Anderson again, I might use the Arcusin one. I think I might use the Arcusin. We'll see how we get on. Did I miss some? I thought I had. Let's push that bale backwards. You'll survive. Then we'll get them all down to mesh pellets and we'll go from there. If it turns out I've got way too many and we are going to... I mean, in all honesty, I'll probably just... If that is the case, I'll just do a load off camera when we get around to doing them. I think the next episode is going to be collecting them and then doing the pelleting side of things. This episode was just getting all this done. If we have got way too many, I'll probably do a load off screen because obviously there's a limit to how many I'm going to be able to do within an episode, I would imagine. I'm probably going to use the crane like I did before because that worked really well. But after we've done the first few through and palletised, I'm going to move the whole kit and caboodle around so it's not emptying into the hopper. It'll be emptying onto the floor into one of the... Oh, I don't know where we'll decide. Into a trailer or something. We'll work the finer details out at a later date. These really are chugging out of here, aren't they? what I'll do. Swing round and do that end one, and I'll just go up and down after that. What's this stuff here? I just about got wheels on the ground here. Blimey. Okay, so the same as with each of the processes before, I'm going to get on with it, and I'll see you closer to the end. I promise I'm not going to check on the amount. I'm not going to look at all until we get to the last few bales, and when the last bale goes through, or part bale, or whatever we end up with, then we'll check the numbers. Last row. Fields 35, 36 are done. Field 45. Do you want to change your guess? I'm sticking to 110. I've got a funny feeling I'm going to be off by quite a bit actually, but it's I don't know, it's difficult to tell. Nope, I'm sticking with 110. Got another full bale with a tiny bit left over. So, turn off the baler, lift the pickup, empty these two out the back. We are done for our second cut. So, cut, tedded, windrowed, baled. What did we end up with? That's all we want. You've got to be kidding me. You cannot make this up. So, created bales this session 108. Had I not had a grass bale come out the front, I would have been on 109, and I guessed 110. I thought I was going to be on like 80. I thought I'd be way off. Maybe I'm getting better at this. Who knows? I can't believe how close that was. 108. Actually, now I'm thinking, wow, that's a lot of bales I've got to shift. Anyway, with those three fields done, that was what, like I said, that's what I intended to do before the end of the episode, was get this all done. I'm going to get out here. Am I going to move the bales first, then spray? Probably. So next episode, clearing the bales off the field, get them down to mesh pellets, and we'll get cracking down there. At the same time as moving, what I'll probably do is get the Massey Ferguson 390. I keep saying 390. Hang on, I need to check because hang on. Garage. Yeah, 390T. Yeah, we'll get that over here. Maybe Debbie will do a bit of spraying for me, or Rob. I don't mind who, but we'll get some done. The sheep actually are doing really well. I meant to mention that. As far as pallets of wool go, we're up to about 5 or 6. Debbie's sheep are really knocking these out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the 6th on the way. So at some point we're going to give them a hand loading those up. We'll bring the telehandler over, get those onto a trailer. We'll get those sold too. I think I'm going to need, well, I don't know, I'm just under half a tank. It's not going to hurt on the way back to the farm. If I go right here, go out towards Whitney BGA, and we'll get some fuel, and we'll get this back to the farm. We'll get a bit of maintenance done on the trial JCB, on this JCB, and on the baler. But not a bad session's work. I'm really happy with that. I can't believe that, 108 bales. That's amazing. Anyway, look forward to seeing you in the next one. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.